Here's your review for Unit 2 test. It's going to be tomorrow or Friday. It's a 100-point summative. It is on the periodic table. The first couple pages is on the periodic table. Then it's on atoms. Then it's on isotopes. And then it's on ions. And each section I'm going to make 25 points. I'm going to have this graded and in Friday. So you want to do well because I'm emailing your parents either Friday, unless if I'm too tired, and then I'll email it by Sunday. If I don't email it by Sunday, then you can yell at me. So, yeah.
On the periodic table, what are we doing? The non-metal?
Right. So I'm giving you this exact thing right here. So that's one thing I will copy paste. And I'm giving you these two periodic tables. And you got to label all this on the periodic table. So the first thing I have with this periodic table is just as on one of the two periodic tables, I got to see all this stuff. So just go through it. And we'll go through it together right now. But this first page you'll get, and these two periodic tables you'll get. So this first page, it's kind of easy, but we went through so much in this week. I can't believe how much all this we've learned in a week, which is essentially insane. But the first, label periods 1 through 7. So periods are cross. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because later in the year, we're going to say like period 6, or we're going to say group 1, and then you're going to know what we're talking about. Then label families groups 1 through 18, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. So easy. 2 points right there. Label the following families. Alkali metals. So alkali metals. So that's group 1. I'm not going to take off points, but technically hydrogen is not an alkali metal. Yeah.
All right, one more. Groups is on the left and then families on one across.
Groups are up and down. No. Groups and families are the same. I'll still give you a server. Ready?
Yeah. What's the side?
What?
What's the side ones?
These are across. So this is period 6. Like I should have asked you, after I finished the review, I should have been like, well, I should have had a question there. What's in period 6, group 14? But I'm not, since I didn't put it on the review, I'm not going to put it on the test. But later, like we're going to be like, if you ask me where's gallium, I would say period what, group this. And you're going to learn about the families. So periods are across.
Families are down.
Families are up and down, right. The second family is called the alkaline. So I should get alkaline metals. And if you just draw a line to the group, that's fine. Hi, thank you.
Yep.
She's not here.
Okay.
So if you draw a line to the group, that's fine. Okay, families 3 through 12 are called the transition metals. Family 17 is called the halogens. And 18 is called the noble gases. I'm giving you these words. You just got to know where they are. And then 13 through 16 have no family. They kind of feel like you guys are now like 15, 16, and you're like, my parents don't understand. You're not I don't, right? So like, these are kind of like you guys at that age, where you feel like you have no family and no one understands you. But once you turn 18, you're going to feel better. Oh no, 17, halogens.
Hey, my number.
All right, so good? Easy points, right? All right, I should move faster. Next one. You're going to get a periodic table for this. You're going to get a periodic table for this. So you're going to have a periodic table. So I'm going to probably mess this up. So put in X using the following directions. Oh wait, metals are elements that are solid, brittle, and conduct electricity. So on the next page, you can do, I give you 2 periodic tables, and you get a real periodic table. So put in X in metals using the following directions. The first 2 elements in period 2. So I should have kept these up.
Yeah. Plus, I wasn't done writing.
Yeah, you gotta write faster because. Okay, first two metals in period 2. Okay. So period 2, 1, 2. Those are metals. First three elements in period 3. 1, 2, 3. First 13 up to gallium. So okay. First 14 up to 10 in period 5. 14. These are all metals, which are solid and conduct electricity. Elements of period 6 up to bismuth. All right. So yeah, just do it quick. Where's bismuth? Anyone know? 16? Is it in group 16? Bismuth. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh no. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
It was in group 15.
Right there. It's in. Oh, up to bismuth. Right. So include bismuth in it. Okay. All elements of period 7. Oh, I'm sorry. So and it also says the lanthanides. So put an X in all these. These are the lanthanides. The top one. They're called the lanthanides. And these are the so then the last one is all elements in period 7. So every single element in this 7 is a X. And then it says, including the actinides. These are the actinides. So it's kind of a headache, whatever. But it teaches you a great lesson because metals act a certain way. Yeah. Metals act a certain way, so it's good if you know how metals work. All right, so easy so far? So don't lose a point either by not putting an X in these. All these bottom ones have X's, so don't lose that point. So if you don't have those down there, you're going to lose a point. Because those are metals, and they act like metals.
The rest are the O's then?
Oh, right, sorry. I've got to finish the rest. Ugh. Right. No. Let's go. All right, so then the next part goes, put in O in the nonmetals using the following directions. Both hydrogen, so hydrogen's not a metal. You lose a point there too. Hydrogen's a O. Helium's an O. Keep in mind you get a periodic table as well, a real one. Both hydrogen and helium, period 2 elements including and following carbon. So carbon's right here. Period 3 elements including and following phosphorus. Phosphorus is right here. Period 4 elements including following selenium. Ugh, I don't know where selenium is. Does anyone have their periodic table? Think 16.
Selenium is in group
16? Awesome. Okay. Period 4 including, okay, and iodine and xenon in period 5. And radon in period 6. So those are nonmetals. These are gases. Those are all gases other than bromine. It's actually a liquid. So these are gases like nitrogen, oxygen. You know that's a gas. Metalloids are elements that have properties of both metals and nonmetals. All the elements remaining between the metals and nonmetals are metalloids. Please put a dash through metalloids. So you also have this in your notes, right? You also did this with colored pencils.
Yep.
So again, you might say, well, what's the point of that? You know now where the metals are, where the nonmetals. And we learned all this in a week. We did this like Monday. Yeah, you can use your notes. No, you can't use this test. So the only thing you can use is the green with the green cover on it. I mean, what's the difference though, really? Other than the fact that,
It's colored and not.
well, yeah, but I don't know how much I'm really going to get to change in this tonight. I obviously got to change something, but
You don't need to change it.
I mean, yeah, I probably don't. Not much. Okay, so that's 25 points. Really do it carefully so you don't, I know you know this, but we did it fast. So do it carefully so you don't lose a point here and there. Next thing, how many protons, neutrons, electrons does the atom have before? Remember, protons are positive, so you 3. Neutrons, can you see that there's 4 in there? Neutrons are also in the middle, and then electrons, you got 3. So I'm sure you guys will get that. So electrons are negative on the outside. All right, label the following parts: the element name, the element's chemical symbol, and I'll let you do this. Just do it this way so it's easier. I don't know, isn't that, well, you can do it whatever way you want. Atomic number and the mass number. So we just use that vocabulary so much. Easy. All right, so next we got fill in the blanks. So it's either, these answers are going to be either proton, electron, or neutron. Determine what element. Does anyone know? What determines the element? Like, what does each element have a specific number of? Does anyone know? This is kind of out of it, but like, we know when I say how many blank does this element have, they all have a different amount. It's protons, electrons, neutrons. Nobody for 100 Jolly Ranchers. Please guess.
Protons.
Yeah. Protons. I lied about the 100 Jolly Ranchers. I lied. So what determines the mass? So what plus protons equals mass? Neutrons. And then we didn't learn much about that, or we didn't learn anything about this. We got that right. We got neutrons right. And we got protons right.
I got neutrons.
Oh, that was him? Ooh, you lied. And then determine how atoms react is electrons, which you're going to learn about later. All right, so easy so far. I'm going to try to keep the video under 20 minutes. But so identify the number. So here, identify the number of protons, electrons, neutrons. If you could give me 3 numbers, I'll give you step-by-step. So look at your periodic table. So let's do magnesium. Who can tell me magnesium? Protons, electrons, neutrons. What do you got?
25.
No, it's not 25.
12 for protons.
Yeah.
12 for electrons and 12 for.
Yep. So the top number is protons and electrons. So we got 12, and then he rounded the bottom number on it to 24 and subtracted 12. So just round that bottom number. First years I taught, getting students to round was impossible. So I actually gave them rounded ones, but you guys can round. All right, so aluminum, who has 3? We got right here. Anyone know? What do you got?
13 protons, 13 electrons, and 14.
Good. So that top number, 13. Then the thinking part of it is 26.9 rounds to 27. 27 minus 13 is 14. Yes, you get the periodic table. From now on, the first 20 elements is the only time I don't give you the periodic table. All right, one more. Anyone want to try sodium? What do you got?
11.
Nope. Sodium. Yep. Sorry.
11, 12.
Yep. Sorry. Sodium rounds to 23. 23 minus 11 is 12. Protons, electrons are the same. All right, almost done. Oh boy. Okay, so that is 25 points. I'm not going to change much. I'll probably just change the, I know I'll just change the elements. I'll change from magnesium to whatever, and sodium to whatever. Okay, all atoms of the same element will have the same amount of protons, and blank determine the identity. Protons. All elements of the same element will have the same number of protons. So I'm going to change, like, these are the same answers. I'm going to rewrite that. So just forget about this question here. All atoms of the same element will always have the same amount of protons. Atoms may differ in number of neutrons, creating an isotope. If you forget that word, look at the top of the test, or look at the top of that section. I mean, it's going to be 4 pages other than the periodic tables. If you forget, if neutrons change, that's an isotope. All right, so how many neutrons are in oxygen 17? So you got to go to the periodic table. Yep. You get oxygen, it has 8 protons. For isotope section, you're not going to use this bottom at all. So you look at that top number. I guess I can keep this up. How many neutrons are in oxygen 17? 9. How many neutrons are in sodium 21? So look at that top number. Don't look at that bottom, because 21 is, and we got 10. So 21 minus 11 is 10. Easy? Make sense? All right. So again, it's going to be exactly the same, other than I'm just going to change, like I'll change whatever, oxygen to carbon or something. Okay. All right, so circle the most common element. This I debated putting on, but essentially look at the bottom number and go with the one that it's closest to. So hydrogen's like 4.001, so it's hydrogen, or it's helium. So look at the bottom number.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Wait, for the oxygen, you said it's 9?
Yeah.
How?
So oxygen on the periodic table is 8.
Yeah. And the bottom number is 16.
16.
So it wouldn't be 8?
No, because for isotopes, neutrons change. So neutrons can change for isotopes. So for this section, for isotopes, you have to look at this top number, because this is now the mass. The bottom number is actually an average mass of billions of atoms. So that is the mass. So you got to subtract 17 minus 9. And so it's 8. Wait,
minus
what?
8 you mean?
Minus 8. Sorry. Minus 9. So for this part, use this number instead of the bottom number. Because neutrons can change, and it changes the mass of the atom, and everything else changes from there. Okay, so these I'll just put on some quick ones. Barium, just go with the closest mass, 137. And I debated putting this on, I think next hour I told I wasn't, but like an AP, it's so easy, but my AP students didn't know. When I asked this question on their review test, they didn't know. So I'm like, I'm just going to teach it. Then argon, go with the closest mass. Argon's 39.948. Make sure you round that though. So don't circle 39. So go with the closest mass. Easy enough? So I didn't know, like with their summer homework, they came in, they're like, we don't know how to figure this out. And I'm like, just go with the closest one, that's it. Like, it wouldn't weigh 39.998 or whatever if most of the atoms didn't weigh 40.
You basically copied for the bottom
Oh yeah.
symbols.
What's that? Yeah. This is how I write passes. There you go. All right. Oh no. All right.
What's the lab?
The lab is you'll get that done either. So you probably won't get it done today. No, sorry. I apologize. But tomorrow or Friday, it only takes a couple. No, I don't know how long it would take because I made it like kind of thinking.
What is it?
It is. I give you different metals.
So, like, they say my students come up to dress up as.
So So I'm putting at the stations different metals. I'm not telling you what the metals are. You got to determine that. So it's sort of thinking. So you got to think through it by weighing it, what the metal is. And I think you guys will get it. I'm taking out like part of it. I took out like the directions of it. I'm just having you guys try to figure it out. Yeah, it'll be, all your labs are 25 summative. Your last lab went in, and the only lab I got to get in is a flame test. So you see an empty space for that right now because I didn't ask you to put your period on it, and so I have no idea who's in which class. But I should be able to do it now that I know people. So I have to get that in by Friday, obviously. But each lab is 25 summative. If you're here, you gotta just get it done by Friday, okay? And if you do it, then generally speaking, you get 25. You might have one wrong, and then you get 24. That's a 96%. All right, here we go. Ugh. Carbon 11. So we gotta be done in 10 minutes. Sorry. So carbon 11, protons. You gotta look in the periodic table. Protons, electrons are always the same in this. Neutrons, 11 minus that 11, minus 6, so 5. Okay? So protons, electrons are the same. Neutrons, 11, this number, minus 6. Sulfur, this number goes on top. So again, this stuff you're not going to use in real life, but seeing the patterns is what you're going to use. Like seeing patterns is what's important. So that number goes up there. See how that 11's up there? Then we got to go to the periodic table. Sulfur has a mass, or I'm sorry, its top number is 16. So proton 16, electron 16. Then here is 36 minus 16, which is 20. All right, you think you'll get this? All right, here, that 47 goes on top. I gotta find titanium.
CI number 32.
Awesome, thank you.
It's in the 4th row.
Wait, 32? 20? Okay. 20? No, it's not. 22, okay. So it's element 22. That top number is protons. It's equal to electrons. And then 47 minus 22, which is, whatever, 25. So this is 25, 22. All right, I'll just do, I'll do one of these here.
Next one is called.
This one is probably the toughest one. So I'll do all these, I'll just change all these numbers, but it'll look exactly the same. 33, protons are equal to electrons. That's 33. 33 is arsenic. That one's tough. Yeah.
75
All right, so arsenic, and it's these two is this number, so that's 75. So I bet some people get that wrong. So it's not like a breeze of a test. Okay. You think you'll get this right? Anyone? Yeah?
Oh, I might have a little second ion.
Whiskers, you're gonna get all this right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even that last one? That made sense? Bella?
As long as I got this, I can
Yeah, you got your notes. I mean, we did this in a week. This would take me a quarter in past years. Okay, when atoms are neutral, they have the same amount of protons and electrons. And I'm not going to change this at all. When an atom gains, however, blah, blah, blah. However, when different atoms come into contact with each other, they may gain a little. This gives an atom a net charge, making them ions. Ion, whatever. Okay, when an atom gains an electron, it becomes negative, and it's called an anion. When an atom loses an electron, it becomes positive. It's called a cation. So anion, like onion, and cation, like cats. But you have those vocabulary words in your notes. Last part of the test, maybe the hardest, especially if you weren't here yesterday, is determination of number of protons, electrons, neutrons in an ion. So let's see, aluminum, name, it's just aluminum. That should be easy. Protons should be easy. We know aluminum has 13 protons by looking at the periodic table. Neutrons, you got Al 13, and it's like 26.97. So neutrons, it's 27 minus 13, so that's 14. So I'm using that bottom number, 26.98. I'm rounding that to 27. What's that?
Electrons are 13.
And then, right, so electrons are 13. I know I'm going to get people writing 16.
That's 10.
10. Because it's a plus 3, it lost 3 negative charges. Electrons are negative, protons are positive.
Okay.
So like when my girlfriend got rid of me, I was a negative influence on her life.
So,
She then became positive.
so if it's just a normal positive,
And I know you're watching right now.
if it's just a normal positive like the sodium one, it just
Have another chance, have one more. All right.
so for the Na, which is sodium, it would just be -1 for the electrons.
No. Yeah, -1 for the electrons.
Okay.
And then the classification, it's either cation, anion, or neutral. So this is positive, so it's a cation. Make sense? This last one is probably tough. I don't know. Oh, I threw in these. Oh my gosh, this one's impossible to do. Neutrons, I meant to write, cross it off and write, whatever, just write 1 or something. Because that's impossible to do. Or no, it would be possible. It just would have a weird number. So like at the bottom, these two here, hydrogen, it has 0 electrons. But hydrogen, you know, has 1 proton. Then I look at the bottom. This one is what you guys actually got wrong, or like half of you or a third of you got wrong in your lab. 1 minus 1 is 0 for neutrons. 0 electrons, therefore it is H plus 1, and therefore a cation. So maybe I'll just do these real quick so you know what you're doing. So this is sodium, cation, protons 11, yeah, 11, neutrons, I'm rounding the bottom, 23 minus 11 is 12, electrons 10, because it's a plus 1. So when it's just plus, it's plus 1. And actually, like first year in college, they let you write plus 1. I remember that, like the teacher just being like, what's the difference? Bromine, this is an anion because it's negative. 35 protons, protons never change. Neutrons, I'm rounding the bottom to 80, so it's 80 minus 35, which is whatever, 45. And then electrons, plus 1, so 36. Neon, there's no charge on that, so it is neutral. Neon, yeah, I'm trying to write on there. I'm trying to write plus 1 or minus 1 on there.
Wait, Mr. Baker.
What?
But if it gains an electron, isn't it an anion?
Yeah.
So like, isn't sodium plus an anion?
No. It plus, you lose an electron. So if you lose an electron, it's plus. All right.
Tune in next week.